Quest.
The adventure game podcast.
I'm Ben.
I am Jess, and I am back.
Welcome back, Jess.
It's great to be back, Ben. You know, I listened to last week's episode, and I stand by everything you said, as I think I made clear throughout the episode. But honestly, Grayson, I don't know about that guy.
Well, you know, I'll get this out of the way right away. I got to get this out of the way right away. Because here's the thing. Last time we did this segment, the correction segment, I'm pretty sure, and I want to be clear here, we do these podcasts and I don't remember anything, even though I listened to them, at least, like, we both listened to it again, you know, before it goes out. But I'm pretty sure last time we did a correction, I said that we weren't doing any more corrections.
Yes. Well, we haven't made any more mistakes until last week.
Yeah. Well, you say we, which you weren't there for.
Yeah, we as an LLC, Quest LLC, made a mistake last week.
Yeah.
I agree, Ben. Well said. Why do I sound like I'm in a bathroom?
Yeah, you did. You sounded like you were in a bathroom last week.
I agree, Ben. Well said.
But here, let me turn on this week's apology music, correction music. Now, so as I said, I you know, also part of saying we're not doing the segment again is I don't want to know when I've been wrong, but a lot of people let me know this one. So last week in our Return to Zork episode, I mistakenly identified this man, and I'll play, let me mute the music for a moment, identified this as an Irish accent.
Go away! I haven't got anything for you! I've only got one milk cow, and she only eats carrots!
Now, so I call that an Irish accent. Obviously, it's a Scottish accent, but let me explain the situation. Because it's a little more complicated than you might think. So, as you may recall, last week it's just Grayson and I want to make it very clear. Grayson was pointing a gun at me.
As he's wont to do.
Yeah, and he was holding up a sign. He wrote down on a piece of paper. He said, "If you do not identify, or if you identify," let me back up.
I mean, I think
there are short clauses.
Yeah,
but essentially,
if you don't not identify,
if I do not. If I do not, listen, let me cut through the crap, because as we all heard last week, Grayson speaks in riddles. Hard to understand what he says. But he was essentially saying that he would fire the gun if I didn't incorrectly identify that accent as an Irish accent.
Now, Ben, just to clarify, would Grayson be firing the gun at his own monitor?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I was scared.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, someone's got a gun on you. You're going to be
I was
a
scared.
little bit intimidated. Yeah, you're going to stop to think.
I was scared, Jess.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm still apologizing, because otherwise, if it wasn't, like, you know, if I was just outright defiant, and it wasn't just because I was scared, even, like, you know, like I was seeing the great train robbery. That train is coming towards the screen. I'm going to run out of that movie theater. That's what I was doing. He was pointing a gun at the monitor, and I was like the people. Yeah.
You were like that dog from the cover of the National Lampoon magazine.
That's right.
Yeah, and I mean, that dog was scared too, just like you were. I don't think anyone can blame you, but I think a lot of people could probably blame Grayson.
Yeah. Yeah, I think most people can and should blame Grayson.
I agree, Ben. Well said.
Yeah, I agree too. Well said, me. No,
right.
this was bad. You know, my rule of thumb is when I'm in this situation is usually how much does it sound like the Mike Myers dad character from So I Married an Axe Murderer. And if it's close to that, I go with Scottish. That's my rule of thumb. The late, great Mike Myers.
Yeah, you know, he was constantly yelling at his young son. Was it his son? Question mark?
Son?
Yeah, because it's like, because Mike Myers is also his son.
Yeah, he's an adult man.
But he's an adult man, and then he has a little boy who lives there.
Mm-hmm. Head, pants, now!
He's constantly harassing.
Yes.
Giving this little boy a complex at the size of his head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As someone with a large head, I didn't appreciate that.
I too have a large head.
It's to contain our large voices.
Yeah. Jess, do you have the problem as a large-headed person that, like, let's say about 60% of headphones eventually give you a tension headache? Headache? Give you a tension headache. What accent was that, Jess?
Ooh, I'm going to say the Maldives?
I agree, Ben. Well said.
Well, I'm glad I gave you those clips. What a great choice that was. Yeah, no, I have to find the perfect headset, and then I just do the reasonable thing and I buy 6 of them, so that I never have to ever worry about one not fitting me again. I just have like a little room in the house where I keep all my backup headsets.
Yeah, you've one of those headset rooms.
Yeah, it's like a Brookstone.
It's really terrible. It's really terrible. I got the like a pair of like the nicest like consumer Sony headphones, and like they would give me tension headaches, and I was just like, I'm just going to deal with this because these were too expensive.
I have a nice set of noise canceling headphones that like I mostly listen to like music on when I'm on a flight or commuting or something like that. And I love those, but somehow they are too warm. I suspect it's like the tight seal that's being created to achieve noise cancellation. But they fit nicely on my head, but my ears get too dang hot.
Well, here's the problem. Going back to these, so I just grinned and bared it with these expensive Sony headphones, and you want to know what? My large head ended up snapping one of the like hinges.
Oh wow.
Which is apparently a known issue. For that, like a lot of people have snapped, like those of us with large heads. And so I have like, and I don't know what to do with them because it's just like it's two functioning high quality headphone speakers, but one of them is just flopping.
Yes.
Like,
just sell it on eBay with a very short description and put as is.
I mean, someone could fix it. It's just that I'm not that person.
Yeah, you just put it against your head and then put duct tape around the headphone and attach it to your face.
Oh, I just have it forever. What would I do to charge it though? That's the problem.
You're just gonna have to be patient and be close to the charging unit. Just move your head closer to it.
How you doing, Jess?
I'm great. I've never been better. My whole family is currently down with the flu except for me. So
so how long is that going to last?
Not long. I would say. I mean, how long do you think we'll be recording tonight? I feel like the flu clock is ticking. It's coming for
like
me.
You have, because we have a peek behind the curtain. We have a fill our backlog like record tomorrow that we're doing. And now I'm thinking like, oh, we might not do that.
Oh, I've got this, Ben. I've decided I'm not going to get sick anymore. I've never enjoyed it,
Oh.
and I just don't think I'll do it anymore.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
More
So
people should try it.
so you just came back from a family trip. How long
Yes.
has your wife and kid had the flu? So when did
Uh,
this
my wife do you
Mhm.
remember Borat?
I don't.
It's a
But
great
continue.
film. Yeah, no problems there.
Yeah.
Um, she got symptoms about 5 days ago. Daughter got them today.
So yeah,
So,
no,
yeah, there's a
you're
stalking
cooked.
horse.
You're
Yeah, yeah,
cooked.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
When did you get back?
Monday. So that would have been 3 days ago.
Okay, so she got it at the park. Or maybe
Yes.
even on the flight.
Yes.
That
I mean,
sucks.
yeah, we were in a lot of very crowded I mean, like we went to a Savannah Bananas baseball game with 43,000 other people. And then we immediately got on a plane known for its germs. And then we went to the most magical place on earth, Walt Disney World, which, that's another like 40,000 people touching and licking every surface in the park all day long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and then back on a plane, we've been exposed to every vector of germ transmission. It's a miracle any of us are still alive.
I did yeah, that's yeah, I hope you your wife and your daughter feel well soon, and I hope that you do not I'm surprised that you haven't come down with it yet, honestly.
No, I am too. I am a sick boy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like the kind of kid in a Charles Dickens novel that's never entirely
Described
well.
as sickly.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I mean that would be like the sickly pallor.
Mm.
I'm an indoor
Mm.
kid.
Yeah.
I really shouldn't leave the house,
Right.
and I know this.
And when you've left the house,
Only bad things have
yeah,
happened.
you've been rewarded. What was the best ride at Disney World this time? What
Oh
was the most
man,
fun
best
you
ride.
had on a ride this time?
You know, Rock and Roller Coaster, which used to be an Aerosmith themed ride, just recently switched over to Muppets theming. So they replaced
Oh.
the pre-show, which used to be like Aerosmith in the recording studio hanging out, and then they're like, "Oh no, we're late for our show. We gotta get across town in 10 minutes.
Mhm.
How are we going to do it?" And their manager's like, "Get in this limo, and we'll shoot you across town." That's the roller coaster. Uh, but now it's the Muppet Theater, and now Scooter is in place of their manager, and Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem are the band. So that was kind of cool. You get new things like when you go on the ride, the musical theme instead of like having to hear Aerosmith songs, which nobody wants to do that. Now on our ride, we got to hear Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem play Song 2 by Blur, also known as the Woohoo song that you might have heard in stadiums a number of times.
Uh-huh. Here, I was going to react negatively to that, but then I was like, well, it can't be a song from the movie The Muppets, not to be mistaken for the Muppet movie, but
Yes.
the movie The Muppets, where like I couldn't even tell you if that had good songs. Maybe it did.
Are we thinking the reboot?
Yeah, the Jason Segel.
Yeah, I mean, it's got Man or Muppet, which I think
That's a good song.
won
Yeah, that
an
was a good
Oscar,
song.
didn't it? Did that win an Oscar?
A lot of shit wins Oscars these days.
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
you been paying attention?
All the Fast and the Furious movies.
Every Fast and Furious has like
That Nicole Kidman
remember when there was a
AMC
little
promo?
dignity to the Oscars and they were like we'll wait until Lord of the Rings is over before we give them all of that. But then they threw that all out the window for the Fast and the Furious
Yep.
movies.
Tokyo Drift,
And I want to be
Best
clear,
Picture.
all of those movies came after Lord of the Rings, all of them.
Yes, every single one. If you look at the timeline,
Yeah,
it's very
look
clear.
at the timeline. Double check the timeline. Look at the timeline. Michael
Yeah.
Crichton. But every single one of those has gotten an Oscar. They hand them out like fucking candy
Yeah.
these days.
It's the only franchise to get picture 4 years in a row.
They should call it best partition.
Yeah, it should best partition of a larger film franchise in the form of a single film.
Best participation trophy.
Oh man, I hate
listen.
participation trophies.
It is 90 degrees here. I am so fucking.
And it's nighttime. Like it's the time of day when it should be 74 degrees.
Yeah, it should be cooler than this, but it's not.
We're sweating, folks. We're sweating. We're
is
recording this,
and we're both wearing headphones, so we're both like cooking our brains.
Yes, for you, the listener. This is a historic heat wave.
Is this historic?
I mean, it feels pretty bad.
It's
I haven't even been able to go to the Great American State Fair because of all this heat.
Oh, yeah. No. Oh, Jess, we were supposed to go there together.
No, we had those plans. We were going to meet halfway between the Illinois and West Virginia booths.
Yeah. We were supposed to meet at the Great American State Fair. We were gonna watch, gonna both get baptized.
You rented that Uncle Sam costume.
Yeah.
With the stilts?
And the stilts. And the voice changer.
What was it going to change your voice to?
Into Darth Vader. I got it because I'm going to
you're at the costume shop and they
they had it and I tried it and it gave me like a Darth Vader voice and I was just like, this is cool. So I got
and increasingly appropriate too. So it sort of fits. Yeah.
Dude, okay. So, like obviously the Great American State Fair is a big time like punchline and sucks and all that. Here's my pitch to save everything.
Oh, here it is.
Turn it all around.
Listen up, America.
Let's go turn it all around.
Mm-hmm.
Is they should get a pretty big midway, like with a little squirt gun game where you shoot at the things. Just get like 3 of the ones from like local fairs and just kind of smoosh them together.
Yeah,
problems solved. They already have like a shitty Ferris wheel there, so why not, right?
I don't think I've ever done one of those water gun games.
Never done the water gun game?
I've never done the water gun game.
Here's another thing they could add to really spice it up. Is they should get like have you ever done the like town carnival like haunted house like sit in a cart ride?
Yes.
Gotta get one of those and put all of America's enemies in there, the Democrats and all the rest.
Here's what I would like to see. Ben, picture this. Giant table. On that table, roughly 100 small fish bowls. In every one of those fish bowls, a goldfish. You're standing outside of that a few feet away. You've got a ping pong ball.
On a 98-degree day.
That's right. And the table is at roughly 93 degrees to make this slightly more difficult for the player. You get a ping pong ball in one of those goldfish bowls. Brother, you're taking home a goldfish.
Wow. A lifelong pet that will definitely make it all the way home. All right. Well,
we can workshop this all day. We could fix this, but nobody came to us.
Yeah, nobody. And I've been making it clear. I've been posting every day. Come to me for solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Marco Rubio
thought it was
isn't even taking your calls.
Yeah, nobody. All right, but anyway, speaking of taking calls, it's time for me to take some emails.
Oh wow, emails! I love these. Now, if listeners wanted to email us, is there an address, or should they just start typing random characters?
They should email. I'm trying to get the level right here. They should email questquestpodcast@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'll read it, or maybe it will go in the spam folder, which is where our friend Tyne's email went. Sorry. But we found it. So this is actually from a few weeks ago. The subject is games as albums. Hello, Ben and Jess. Love the music comparison in the latest episode, which is, it's fine, about how the artistic journey of game developers is compared to how bands evolve with each album they put out. And you know what? I made that comparison. So
that was apt. Yeah.
So maybe Hypnospace Outlaw is for Jay Tholen what Siamese Dream was for Billy Corgan. Right. Mm-hmm. But what could be the Weezer's Blue Album of games? Which debut game seemed like a brilliant and promising start to a long career, but turned out to contain all of their best ideas, and nothing could capture that magic again, even though they kept trying to chase it with numerous releases? Keep up the good work. Cheers, Martin. This is a really great question, and this really makes me think, most self-respecting podcasts, read the emails first and then have their answers prepared.
Oh yeah, that's not how we roll.
That's not how we roll.
No, we want to be spontaneous. Part of music is about, great artistic work, but sometimes music, we do more like jazz here. It's just, sometimes it's about the emails you don't answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about the questions you don't prepare for.
But yeah, I think it's a really, really great question. And
yes.
I don't know if I immediately have an answer, which is so to say again, what series or developer, or and we can even expand this to studios, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which one, and I'll put the email theme back on for our next email. Which one had a really, really promising start and then kind of diminishing returns? And are you a Weezer? Have you ever? I never got into Weezer because by the time I became aware of Weezer, people are they're washed. Don't bother.
Yeah, it just so happens I am a huge Weezer fan. I would count.
Are you?
I really am. Yeah, we're going to see them later this year. I would count the Blue Album maybe as a top 5 album for me, alongside Siamese Dream from the Smashing Pumpkins. So this is very much in my wheelhouse right now. 90s alternative rock. I'm Gen X, Ben. What do you think? I don't like the Blue Album.
Now, are you going to go see They Might Be Giants this year? That's the band I've seen the most.
I don't have. I know we have a great question here, and this is good vamping as we try to come up with an answer. But They Might Be Giants. I have. I kind of have a weird relationship with, in that I kind of missed most of their early stuff. I knew Don't Let's Start,
mm-hmm.
and not a lot else. I kind of missed Particle Man. I missed Istanbul, Not Constantinople. All the ones you'd expect someone to hear. Somehow I missed those. I jumped in and got really into the album Factory Showroom, of all things.
Which is,
and
if I recall correctly, that's partially a live album. It's if it's been a minute since I've listened to that one.
Yeah, it's got songs like SEXXY is the lead track. On good groove on that one. It's got James K. Polk on it, which is a fun song.
I think it's on a couple other albums.
Yeah. New York City, that everyone
great. You don't have to.
Wonderful
you don't
song.
have to explain.
Wonderful song. But that's my
chapter and verse.
They Might Be Giants, and I've really not had much experience with them beyond that. I feel like they're a band I should like.
How you can't be I'm Mr. 90s alternative and then be and also a nerd and then be but They Might Be Giants. I never had a phase. That's
I know.
Bizarre
I know it is bizarre. I know it's bizarre. I know it's not right. I know that I should be deeper into it, but yeah.
All right,
Factory Showrooms, man.
But
so what are we gonna do? What they get right
really
the first time and kept chasing?
Because this is killing me because I know that I know that this that I have played this.
Is Myst a candidate here? But people love Riven, right?
People love Riven. People I don't think you and I are qualified to really.
That's right. That's not our place to say.
Yeah.
I mean,
but there's a lot of I wonder, but no, it's because there's also some stuff that's kind of got it in one.
Yeah.
There are games where it's the first, a lot of arcade games, right? I've made this point a million times. Pac-Man. Everything, I've already said this a million times. It's everything there's very little you can do to improve that.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. That's
you
one,
could make him a
but
girl.
I'm trying to think because the question here is also a designer, and I'm expanding it into a studio just to
make it a little easier. I mean, there's certainly games I think that never got a lot better than their first installment in a series. I mean, I think you could argue that maybe the Monkey Island series never topped The Secret of Monkey Island, but they continued to make wonderful games after that for the most part. You could, maybe make the argument that Quest for Glory never got a whole lot better.
Quest for Glory was
1.
actually the first one I thought of.
Yeah.
And I say that as somebody that loves Quest for Glory games.
That's right. The whole series
that was
is wonderful.
The first one that came to me because I was just to me, that gets everything that they can do really well. And I like the other games, but not nearly as much.
Yeah. But again, it's not like they fall off, really. I mean, even Quest for Glory 5, for all of its failings, is still a pretty good game.
Yeah, because and it's also within the talking about Weezer, and I'm not someone very familiar with Weezer, but it's my familiarity is that people just continue to be disappointed.
Yes, that is part of the experience
with their output, and there's always a sense of oh well, we're going back, we're gonna find whatever it is that made that first one so powerful.
And they've even had songs about how they're going to go back and be like they used to be because fans want it. Back to the Shack would be a good example of that, and it's insufferable. It is. I know it's both heartbreaking and it's we're gonna go back to when we used to be cool and everybody loved us, and we aren't going to have I'm not going to do rap verses or anything like that. I'm going to be the nerdy guy in glasses with the lightning strap on my guitar, and you're going to love me again. And it's Rivers, just this is even worse. This is so much worse than just what you were doing. Don't acknowledge. It's when a chain like Domino's releases a bunch of commercials. They're look, we know we're shitty pizza, but we're trying to get better. And it's supposed to respect that. It's Domino's, why prime me to think you're terrible pizza?
All right. Well, maybe we'll be in the middle of this episode and we'll hit us, but I will toss it back to the email.
Yeah, I would love to hear people's thoughts on
gmail.com. What do you think?
What games were chasing success that got there and then could never reclaim it?
You know what actually what is that I feel that a lot of strategy games kind of could fit there too, because it's just if you make a really good I was actually talking about this on the Discord earlier, it's I really like Master of Orion, the first Master of Orion, and it had a very good sequel, but the sequel added a ton of complexity and stuff to it. And then famously, there was a third Master of Orion, which was dog shit.
Yeah.
Famously. It was just an absolute disaster. And that's a series where because I think there also might have been another Master of Orion remake a couple years ago or something like that. Master of Orion, I think like 2016, right? Master of Orion, Conquer the Stars.
Wow.
Nobody talks about that. Like maybe it was good. Sorry to put it down if it was great. But that really seems like it came and went, right? Like it's like that's a series. I would also extend that to the Master of Magic game that I spoke about last week. It's like that's a series where people were chasing after the magic of Master of Magic, like both like with that remake that I was playing last week, but also it's like people like I know like Stardock was trying to make something. Like people have been trying to chase that for a very long time. And it's just like I just play the first one. I'm like, all right, they got it. Even though this is really buggy and totally unbalanced and has a lot of problems. I don't like any
now
of the
I'm
other
also
versions.
thinking about games that like I'm thinking about the inverse of this question now. Like games that I'm kind of glad didn't get that follow up. Like I am weirdly happy that there is not a follow up to Day of the Tentacle. I kind of like that Day of the Tentacle sits on its own. I mean, I know it's a sequel to Maniac Mansion, but I
It's
feel
very,
like
very, very different.
yeah, I mean, you don't need to have played Maniac Mansion or remember any details from it to be able to jump straight into Day of the Tentacle. And I feel like any attempt to follow up on Day of the Tentacle would almost certainly be a mistake.
I think the thing is,
Unless I'm offered a chance to work on that project, in which case I think it's a great idea.
yeah. I think the thing is that like anything that has like a clever hook, if you have a sequel to it, there's always going to be a temptation to it's like, all right, well, how do we outdo that?
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, with something like Day of the Tentacle, it's like, let's not do that.
Yeah, no, yeah, because I could see on the one hand, like, let's make Day of the Tentacle far more complicated. You know, which that wouldn't make it better. I mean, it's a perfect game. It doesn't need to be fixed. Some would argue it's the greatest LucasArts game.
Anyway, we have another email. This is from Chris. Greetings, both. You know, somebody sent me an email with that, and I thought that was rude until it was explained to me that that is a common UK thing, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
So now you regretted like sending back a really angry response.
Where
do you get off?
Yeah. But I will say, in my defense, it was an American who had decided to start picking up United Kingdom affectations. I'm a little behind on the podcast. There's lots of podcasts and not enough time in the day. I get it. So please forgive that. I will. I'm listening to remakes, reboots, and retrospective, and I really appreciate Jess's mention of Cruise for a Corpse, mainly because it was a reference to a classic that wasn't published by LucasArts or Sierra. Yeah, we should probably,
Yeah, fair game. Yeah.
Do you have any plans to dive further into the works of Delphine Software or Microprose Classics? He goes on. Microprose didn't make too many adventure games, but they did make, and I know you've referenced them in passing, Dragon Sphere, Return of the Phantom, Rex Nebular, and some TNG point and clicks. Did they do the last? Did they do Final Unity? Was that
Spectrum Holobyte?
Whatever. Anyway, we need to. Delphine made Future Wars, Operation Stealth.
Oh.
Played.
We have to do an Operation Stealth episode, Ben.
And Cruise for a Corpse.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how the gender politics of Rex Nebular would stand up in the modern day. Might have to replay it to see.
Yeah, you see, I actually ask myself this question a lot. I'm sometimes like, I should go back and stream Rex Nebular, and I actually bought that when it came out. I had like a boxed copy of Rex Nebular. I still have the manual for Rex Nebular for some reason. It's like I collect stuff like that. But I'm terrified that I am going to get like 15 minutes into that stream and have to like dive across my desk to hit the end stream button.
I don't know.
I'm not even sure I'm comfortable with the full title. Of that game.
No, you haven't said it.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, no, not sure. I don't know if that plays here in the 21st century.
Normally, if you're concerned about saying a full title of a game, and then you're like, maybe I should stream it, but I'm concerned that it might
the title
not play well.
Yeah. Maybe
anyway.
there's your answer. There's your answer. But
one final question. I think you should do an episode. That's not a question. I think you should do. You should do an episode on hidden object games.
Ooh,
do they count as point and click? Many have inventory items, a narrative, even if ridiculous, and some interactions with characters. Sure, many are first person, but as was Under a Killing Moon and Normality, another non-Sierra LucasArts classic. Thank you both, Chris from Northern England.
Ooh, thank you, Chris. This is great because what I need to know, I like the idea of doing a all hog episode where we're just looking at hidden object games, but I need to know what are the canonical ones? What if you're going to play 3 hidden object games? Are there ones that are considered classics in the genre? It is something I know nothing about.
Jane Jensen made a couple, right?
She did.
That might be interesting to poke because I don't know, because people you played Gray Matter, which was her other adventure game. She was at 2010 around then,
yeah,
2009 in that area
ish, somewhere in there.
Her other adventure game, the hidden I'm curious. I have no idea if those
and
are
when they remade Gabriel Knight for its anniversary edition, they included some new hidden object sequences in there.
Did they really?
I think there are 1 or 2 hidden object sequences, a couple of sliding tile puzzles, value added.
I know they added a sliding tile puzzle, and that was what made me think, I've got Gabriel Knight 1 at home. And
that's a great example.
The Gabriel Knight 1 at home is supposed to be kind of the crappy, the remake is the Gabriel Knight 1 you have at home, but everyone follows and understands me. I'm totally clear and perfect.
Yeah, you don't seem overheated.
I think I'm going to walk over and turn on my AC right now. I'm going to take a little
I'll
break.
vamp while Ben does that. Okay, Ben is taking off his headphones. He's standing up. He appears to be wearing, I'm going to say, gray shorts. He's walking across the room. He tripped. Oh no, he fell on his coffee table. Oh God, he gashed open his head. Oh no, he's bleeding. Oh, Ben, don't try to stand up. Oh, he fell back down. He's dizzy. He struggled. He's back. He's made. Ben, are you okay after tripping over the coffee table and gashing open your head?
Yeah, never been better.
All right, good.
Never
Excellent.
been better. All right. Anyway, yeah, I've only played. I don't even remember it. I have to open up my itch account to find it. I was playing it on itch. I think it was called Hidden Creatures or something. It was little black and white line drawings, and it was really, really cute. I had a lot of fun playing it, but I don't really know any of the what are the canonical hidden object games? Let us know.
There have to be some. There are people. That is a genre that is much beloved, and I have to assume there are some that are real standouts narratively and things like that. I played a handful of these to grab soda machine screenshots through the years, but I don't know that any of them were considered particularly classics. They were just classic in the sense that they had a soda machine in them for my video game soda machine project.
But let us know, questquestpodcast@gmail.com. That might be something that we play. And speaking of things that we might play, what have you been playing?
Ben, I just came off of my first real experience ever with the original Zork I went back to the beginning, Infocom's classic, Zork 1, the Great Underground Empire. And you know what, Ben?
What?
I got zorked.
What?
I got
what
zorked
happened?
hard. I got zorked.
Okay, what does that mean?
The implementers zorked me.
Okay.
They zorked me over.
Okay. Which
No.
means?
So I decided to stream Zork because I thought, like, I'd listened to last week's episode and I was like, I'd love to play Return to Zork, but I've never been to Zork, so I can't return to it. So I decided it's time to play Zork 1, finally, after all these years. My playthrough didn't go great in terms of the results, which is to say, I got about an hour in and soft locked my way to giving up, which is unfortunate. But I will say I do get the appeal of Zork. I do see that even from the very beginning, Infocom was doing the interactive fiction thing much better than a lot of the sort of games that would follow it in the years ahead. I mean, there's a lot of crummy text adventures from the 1980s, and Zork is really well written. The parser right off the jump is an impressive piece of work. I mean, I get the appeal, but man, is that a finicky game. It's got everything you'd expect. It's got mazes. It's got a limited inventory. You can only carry so many items. There's a lot of like inventory shuffling where you have to drop items, go back and store things in a trophy case, come back and get the items you dropped. And all the while, every move you make in the Great Underground Empire is burning the battery in your lantern.
Yeah.
So mistakes can very easily catch up with you. I ended up at a point, and now I do want to also say, because I was streaming this, I was using a walkthrough. Nobody wants to see me attempt to beat Zork just like with honest effort. That would take possibly weeks and weeks to do. So I was using a walkthrough, and the walkthrough wasn't super clear about one inventory management choice. Ended up with a situation where I needed a dagger, a knife, I believe, that I'd picked up earlier in the game and dropped somewhere I couldn't remember. And the process of searching for it without a clear save game that I could go back to that would not lose a ton of progress meant that I would burn out my lantern before I could retrieve said knife, at which point I put my head in my hands, I wept, and I said goodbye to Zork 1. And I don't know, I don't know what I expected, but I should probably, I don't know if I want to give that another shot. I saw like 75% of the game as far as I can tell. And I got a pretty good rank. I scored some points, Ben. That's what really matters.
It's really interesting if you think about, like, one thing about those, like, about that era of adventure games is that, like, you know, because I just opened up Enchanter because I was thinking about it. The Infocom game that is essentially like another Zork trilogy, the Enchanter games. They take place in the Zork world. And like I'm looking at it right now, and you know, an important feature of the Zork status line, or like at the top of the screen rather, is that it tells you how many moves you've made.
Yes.
And that feels to me like an integral part to like kind of the like not only just Infocom but like text adventures of that era, like design, which is not a consideration of adventure games later.
Right. I mean, it very much, it's turn-based adventuring. And a lot of the games, you know, that's not just like an interesting bit of information, like points might be in a lot of games, but it's very much, in the first Zork at least, designed as part of the game itself. Like a lot of the gameplay mechanic is based around how many moves you've made. And especially at the lantern, again, being a finite source of light, that once you run out of it, then you are likely to be eaten by a group.
Yeah. Zork is a game that has, kind of this timer on it, of the lantern. And I mean, I just don't, the way that you and I stream might just not be conducive to at least those, like, I don't know if the later infocoms are quite that way, but like, Zork is, you now know, having just played it, is very like related to adventure.
Yes. And isn't particularly concerned about being unfair or moon logic puzzles or things like, it's happy to embrace those again as just part of what this gameplay experience is, which I get.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like a game that dares you to master it, and one that expects you to do that through trial and error, which again, I think if you're the right kind of streamer, I think of someone like our friend Robot Spacer, who really loves to go slowly and draw maps and really think through puzzles and things like that.
Writes down a bunch of notes.
Yeah, but you and I are, we're
Lazy
not
boys.
speedrunners. We're lazy boys.
Yeah.
We're lazy boys. I want the game to be fed to me. Nom 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 nom, a little spoon.
Yeah. I think also, because I think the score is there and the rank at the end, there is also, it's like, yeah, look, this is how well you did. This is your score. Like, it's kind of gaming it. So it's like,
right.
It's still kind of, but, it's also, those first Zork games are also, like, as I'm sure you well know, that's like an adaptation of a thing like Adventure, like Colossal Cave, where it was just like a thing that lived on like, PDP, supercomputers of the late 70s or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they chopped it up and put it into a trilogy. And so I think I'm curious, not as someone that is especially a scholar of Infocom, just a dabbler of Infocom. How, it's funny because the Zork games are so commercially successful when they're just kind of made by these guys to amuse themselves.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like their later games, are tested intensely, and they have like a huge staff working on all this stuff.
Yeah.
But those first 3 Zorks are just like, a bunch of 20-year-olds being annoying.
Yeah. And as I understand it, even then, Zork 2 and Zork 3 get progressively easier than Zork 1. But yeah, I've played Zork 1. I've played most of it. I ranked it as an adventurer. And that's good enough for me. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm not a beginner. So Ben, what have you been playing?
Jess, I've been playing the game Towerfall. Have you ever played Towerfall?
No.
Towerfall is the first game, speaking of, interesting designers, by the woman who designed Celeste.
Okay.
You ever play Celeste?
No, I'm familiar with it, but I've never played it.
You probably have it from a Humble Bundle.
I think I do.
Yeah. Celeste is a really wonderful, difficult platformer that is designed for people to beat. Like it is designed for you to master it. I love Celeste. I think it's an excellent game. Towerfall, which was made, I believe, like I think it was like kind of the top shelf, like best game on the Ouya console.
Oh.
But now you can play it on the Steam. I'm not on Steam. I'm not, I didn't pull out a old Ouya to play it. Towerfall is a 4-player combat game, like 2D pixel combat game where you're on a single screen and you're firing arrows at each other.
Okay.
And similar to Celeste, it has a very tight and strong design. It feels good. It's very fun to run around and shoot at your friends, and it is a couch co-op game because it's a very you have to have the quality of the controls. I'm sure you could maybe make good net code for it, but I don't think that happened. Maybe you can do the Steam friend play streaming thing with it. I don't know, but probably wouldn't work. It is just a very good 2D single screen deathmatch game where you're firing arrows at each other. So I've been playing when I've had people over to play stuff. I've been like, hey, you want to play this? And they're like, what the hell's that? And then everyone's delighted. So I dusted it off. That's another thing that I got in a Humble Bundle a while back. And so it's just look at this.
Yeah, I have so many of those. I mean, between itch bundles and Humble Bundles, I mean, just games I've never heard of that I own. It's really beautiful. And then there are games occasionally that I've gotten in one of those bundles that I've gone on to purchase on a different platform a second time, not realizing I had the bundle, which that always feels smart.
Yeah. My niece, who's in her 20s, she once commented to she plays games. She has a Steam account, and she's she was looking she was playing on my Steam Deck. She was just like, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of games. She didn't say it exactly like that, but she was just like, that's a lot of games. And I'm just like, I don't think you understand. Number one, I've had a Steam account since you can have one because I bought Half-Life 2 at release.
Same. Yeah.
So I've had a Steam young woman. I've had a Steam account since when you were, just kind of toddling since you were a toddler.
Toddling around as a toddler does.
Yeah. So that's one. Also, there's just a lot of bundles in there. There's a lot of and also there's a lot of Steam sales. As we're recording this, we're in a Steam sale, but there were a lot of those early Steam sales before they knew how to price things.
Things were crazy in those Wild West days.
The
of
early Steam sales were truly insane.
Yes.
You could get
absolutely
some really good deals.
Yeah, this happened to me recently. I had some friends over, and we ended up playing Jackbox games. And as I switched over the TV input to use my laptop, I had Steam open to launch the Jackbox games we were going to play, and someone commented, "Oh my God, you have so many games on Steam." And I'm like, "You don't understand. That number is not reflective in any way of my actual gaming habits." It was commented upon, and I felt shame.
Jess, would you say that you're a collector of games on Steam?
Not really, no.
Oh, all right. Well, that's been Quest, the adventure game podcast.
Ben,
that was a short one.
I have a question about Space Quest 4.
Yeah.
So the fact that Roger at one point.
Stop.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Today
yes,
we are talking about collecting games. About
collecting games. And you know, one of the things that put this on my mind this week was the recent announcement, as we record this, still recent, by Sony, that by January 2028, they will be phasing out physical media. And certainly there's been a lot of reaction to that online. It's been a pretty powerful discourse in gaming circles, this question of, sort of where physical media fits in our hobby. A lot of it focused around the preservation of games, what happens in a all digital future when servers are shut down and licenses expire and things like that. But also, I think from a collecting standpoint, there are a lot of people that even in this era of digital distribution like to have that case and like to have that disc, even if that game isn't playable from the disc per se.
Because that's that. I feel that kind of complicates, like, so there was this announcement, earlier about like PlayStation not doing it, and everyone's mad.
That was one thing that put this on my radar.
Yeah, there was the like part of it, like my reaction to it is it's like that sucks, but also it's like I'm reading, the statement from the Video Game History Foundation, which they have a really wonderful website and some incredible videos. They've been doing some really great videos lately. But just pulling from their statement on this that they posted earlier this week. This is from the second paragraph, which is: the reality is the vast majority of video games produced over the last 2 decades were not made for dedicated home video game consoles, let alone pressed to physical media. Even when they were released on physical media, a day one digital patch was all but guaranteed, meaning that even though a disc is preserving data in an accessible way, might not represent or may not represent the game that people actually played. Museum and archives have been preparing for this future for a while with the expectation that putting discs on a shelf isn't going to be a long-term solution for preserving new games. And then it goes on about it. It's a good statement, but it is like it does, because that was something I thought about where I was just like, I mean, every game I don't really buy a lot of games day one anyway, but the ones that I do get have a day one patch.
Yeah, if you are downloading at least a gigabyte day one, I don't know what game you're playing.
Yeah, and this isn't this isn't saying like, well, Sony has the right of it or whatever, because I also think, and we'll get there, because there's also, I'm not an archivist. I'm not a, I don't do the work of the Video Game History Foundation or any, similar company or group organization. But so just as somebody, just some schmuck on the street, there is still something lost by not having a box.
That's exactly right, Ben. And I personally think you need more boxes in your life.
Tell me more.
Because this is a road that really, like, big box adventure game collecting and game collecting in general is a newish hobby for me. I only started down this road just a few years ago. But I have to tell you, Ben, until you've been able to hold a copy of Manhunter 2 in your own hands and know I physically own this and all the things that are tucked away inside this this lovely little slip cased box, you haven't lived. Now, I know, Ben, you're feeling the siren call of video game collecting, because I know for a fact you recently dipped your toe into these waters.
Yes, those who watch my stream know that I did actually purchase Pac-Man 2: The New Adventures for the Sega Genesis.
The only official sequel to Pac-Man.
Yeah. And you know, and I'm holding it. It's in my hands right now. It's in this, like, let's hear this. This is the famous plastic Genesis case. Like, I don't know if you heard it open. It even smells like it. Smells like
Oh, wow.
how I remember these cases
Yes.
smelling. Has the manual, it has the cartridge. Here's the thing, is that I don't think I'll ever know if this cartridge works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
Because you have
ever...
a Mega Drive and it's region locked.
Yeah, I have a region locked Mega Drive. You know, but I like the idea of having this. I like the idea of having this box. I like the absolutely insane art of Pac-Man looking terrified as he jumps off a cliff, riding a
Hang glider.
a hang glider.
I've seen him pilot Wing 64. It's
like,
the same one.
You know, there's something I like about having this and looking through the manual and knowing that maybe one day I won't. Maybe one day I might have, like, get a Genesis or have access to a Genesis, or like, one of those machines that imitates,
like multi-console doohickeys with all the different ports. It's got a port for everything.
Yeah, they got ports every. Was there a Storm?
Any port, yeah. Ben, what you need? Do you remember how the angry video game nerd had that, like, toaster NES that, like, looked like a toaster, and he, like, put the game pack?
Jess, I never watched the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Wow, Ben.
I have never ever. I know a lot of things about the Angry Video Game Nerd via osmosis, because many of my friends...
You were a big fan of that Ghostbusters video that he did where he said he wasn't going to go see the all-female Ghostbusters movie. I remember you sharing that all over social media.
Oh, did he really do that?
Oh, yeah, he led the charge. Not because there were women starring in Ghostbusters. Just because he didn't think it looked like a good movie. He's boycotting it. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard.
Wow, I mean, that's, gamers can get pretty angry, so...
Especially on YouTube.
This guy, he must be especially angry.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's the angry video game nerd. But all that being said, there is something lovely about that tactile experience of holding something in your hands, especially if it's something that you love from your past, or if it's something that you just find it hilarious that it exists, which might be closer to the case of Pac-Man 2.
Yeah, because I fucking hate this game.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. Inserting it into a Genesis someday implies that then you would have to play Pac-Man 2. And nobody wants that.
Ugh.
But there's an appeal there. And for me, my gateway into this collecting bent, at least the modern manifestation of it, was a few years back. My wife got me a copy of King's Quest V for the NES as a birthday gift. And that's another game that's like, it's insane that this exists. And now I have a copy and I've got the manual and I can just look at that anytime I want to. And it started me down.
How often do you look at that manual?
At least once a day. I do. Yeah, I do. Like, every morning I get up and I do my affirmations. And
give me one or two of those.
Jess, your head isn't that big. It's the right size of big. It's bigger than average, but that's not wrong. Your head's pretty good.
Okay.
So that's one of them.
You're looking in a mirror?
Yeah, I'm looking in a mirror as I
Great.
say this, and
Great.
just look at that giant noggin up there, just like
Yeah, you're deaffirmating yourself right now.
That's what they call it, deaffirmating. And just and sometimes I'll be like, Jess, it doesn't say anything about your worth as an adventure gamer that you couldn't beat Zork while following a walkthrough. That's fine. A lot of people probably couldn't do. Yeah, just what you'd expect. But then I go read a selection from the King's Quest V manual. I pray and I start my day.
You pray. Yeah.
It's like MC Hammer said, we've got to pray just to make it today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when he said that.
Yeah, that's one of his songs, Ben.
Yeah. So how at this point, so you got some years ago.
Like three-ish.
You got 3 years ago.
Yes.
And this is and I'll say as a friend of like many collectors of many different things, collectors say to you start with like 1 or 2 and then all of a sudden it happens.
Here's what happened. I got that gift. And then I was like, this is my favorite new possession. You know what would be hilarious? If I got a copy of Codename Iceman. So
yeah,
then
I would do the same thing.
Yes, I was like,
what if I think it was hilarious?
Because originally I was like, what if I got like a bunch of bad games or weird versions of games? And like, what if this was my collection? And it was just a slippery slope. Then it's like now what started out as this one game 2 or 3 years ago has ballooned into an obsession that has netted me nearly all of Sierra's adventure games at this point.
Whoa.
And then a bunch of other random stuff.
What don't you have?
Okay, what don't I have? Here goes. I do not have Quest for Glory 4.
Ooh.
Okay. And I will say, anyone listening, Christmas will be here in just a few months. If you just want to send me a copy of Quest for Glory 4. I don't have King's Quest 1 or 3. I do not have like Torrance Passage. Phantasmagoria 2. Ben, it's out of control.
Phantasmagoria 2 strikes me as one that's probably hard to get.
It's either hard to get or there are copies for like $8 right now.
Yeah,
there's no in between. There's no in between on that one. It's either $400 or someone has it for $16 or best offer.
Like there's a warehouse, like somebody just got access to the warehouse that Sierra had put all their remainder stuff in. And
that's the only answer.
There's
I have some other random stuff. I have a copy of Return to Zork that I picked up a few years back. I have some other games from my childhood that I really love. 7 Cities of Gold, Pinball Construction Set.
Does that come with the Return to Zork? Does that have the Encyclopedia Frozbazica?
I believe it does. It does.
That's a good.
Yeah. But for me, I like collecting. I like learning what's out there. I like learning about different versions of games or weird pack-ins and then trying to do this. Now, it's less fun in a world of eBay where at the end of the day, you can have almost anything you want if you're just willing to spend money on it. Like, there's something to be said for actually like visiting vintage stores and stuff. But I don't have a lot of those around here. I love any time I can actually like track down something myself. But Ben, are you a collector in general? Are you someone who collects?
I am. I would say I'm not much of one, but I am susceptible to it, if that makes sense. Like, I have little collections of things that I've like, kind of put together over years. I have, like, as mentioned many podcasts ago, I like at some point last year, I uh bought a record player, and that is absolutely something that has become now that has become a problem.
Yes, and I think
Like
that's the case for anyone who buys a record player and is like, "Oh, I like this." It quickly becomes a problem.
it's become a problem. The best and worst part about it is that uh, a record store has now opened like 10-minute walk from my home, and it has pretty reasonable prices and pretty
Uh-oh.
good turnover. Like it's small, but it like he does a lot of online sales too.
Mhm.
So it turns over all the time. And so there's always something new to kind of flip through. And he usually keeps things like kind of reasonably priced. So it's like, oh, come on, it's not that much, you know?
What do you wanna pay for a vintage album?
I mean, it really depends on if it's something I really like. But I mean, I will like here's something. I got the double album of the like the original version of Jesus Christ Superstar for like
Oh,
$5 there.
that's amazing.
I would like come on.
Yeah, I would buy that, and I don't even have a record player.
Like I saw it's like that's a great musical. I was just like sold. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Like I wasn't in the market for Jesus Christ Superstar, but at
Yeah.
$5, you bet I fucking was.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and then like and so now um I've started it's also it's like, because music is, there's so much shit. And so it's like now I've started to like kind of fall down like little, side quests and side things where it's
Mhm.
like, oh, I've started like now I have like I think 4 albums from that band which I saw last
Yes.
year.
Loose
Uh
Grapes?
yeah, yeah, the Loose Grapes guy. That's right. Uh
Call back.
yeah.
And please, if you're listening to this on any platform that allows comments, give us a hashtag loose grapes in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, Loose Grapes. Like there's a couple like I just started picking up like it was like literally I just got one album from from Beverly Glen Copeland, and then I listened
Mhm.
to it and I was like, this is great. And then I was like, well, I'm gonna buy some more. Like I
Yeah,
gotta
that's how
lard
they
up the
get you.
shelf here so no one thinks I'm just a dabbler in his
Mhm.
music. Like
Mhm.
I
That's
gotta
how you have to
like
do
no
it.
one's gonna walk up and be like, oh, you just got just one, huh? No, now there's two. Um, but also like some of the other little things I've collected. I have this is another thing where it's like I bought this one thing once and then like every time I saw something similar to it, I was like, well, I have to get it. Now I'm collecting these. And so it's those are over 100-year-old books of manners.
Oh, I like that.
That's something that my college town had uh a great used bookstore that had, that a pretty good shelf of those dusty old like turn of the century or even 19th century books. And like of course there are a couple classics on there that were obviously extremely out of reach, but then there were just a couple things, and there was like this like a couple books of manners, and I was just like that's fun. And the jewel of my collection is a book of manners which I believe is called The Manners That Win,
Ooh.
from I think it is post-bellum. It is not too far after the Civil War. I think it's 1880.
Wow.
somewhere around there.
I'm fascinated by
And
this.
one of the first things I did was deface it, which is even funnier. I had John Hodgman sign it. Because I didn't have
Perfect.
I went to like a reading he was giving and I didn't have any of his books on hand. And I was just like, this would be funny if you signed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I
so I
bet it was.
defaced this piece of history. Sorry.
Yeah. Your friend, John Hodgman.
Yeah, my personal, my, my one-time podcast co-host, like Grayson, who was also there actually, but he
Yeah,
was not
weird.
co-hosting.
Yeah, no, it didn't seem like it.
Anyway,
It seemed like he was coasting, if anything.
yes, that's right. Thank you, Jess. But so I have a couple of those, and then like also things that I consider adjacent to that, so like educational, like kids books
Yeah.
from then. Like I have like a little corner of a shelf because like those books are hard to find, and if you're like actively searching for them, they get expensive. It's like
Yes.
you have to like for me to find the next one, and this is a collection that I've been building since literally college. So like you know, a little under 20 years. It's like those books just kind of come to me. Like I'll just be at a used bookstore and there one will be for like a reasonable price. Most of the time, like if I'm actively searching for one, it will be like, oh, do you want this thing for like $100 or more? And it's like, no. This
No.
collection is specific because it's weird and has meaning, and it's also cheap.
Yeah, I mean, that was, and I do think, again, getting back to the point I made earlier, it's kind of a bummer living in the era of eBay where it's like, you could get your hands on anything if you're willing to pay the price. Like, I could go have the original IBM PC Junior King's Quest 1 right now. I could just go on eBay and pay the exorbitant amount that it's selling for if I felt like blowing a bunch of money. But there's something special about actually finding something in a store that you've stumbled across. Like that's how I ended up with Return to Zork. That's not a game that I mean, as I said earlier, I've never played it, but it's certainly an important adventure game in the history of these things. And I just saw it sitting in a store one day for like $12. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take a complete copy of Return to Zork.
Yeah, I would too.
For $12.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's how I ended up with both the Lost Treasures of Infocom 1 and 2, which are sealed. I have sealed copies of those that I got for a steal.
Sealed for a steal? Here's the thing.
Sealed for a steal.
You'll have to look it up. I think those might, I mean, that might have the like reprints of the maps and shit in it.
Yeah. I could use that last night.
I was going to say that would have been useful last night because I will like, okay. So in getting into like the collecting of it all is that also like, some games, especially like from an era, because that's another like kind of, disappointing thing. If you're going to buy a PS5 game in a clamshell case, it probably is just going to be that on a Blu-ray or whatever, and maybe like a little slip.
Maybe,
right?
Yeah, probably not a manual to speak of even these days. Yeah,
and sometimes that's like if you just kind of want to have that box and just have that's great. But like especially of that, like I mean Infocom games, to go back, like those had so much cool shit in it that even if you weren't having like even if you weren't able to crack Zork 1, 2, or 3, you'd still have fun because it's like number one, you get this really great fold out map, this very handsome. I wish I held on to ours. Like I really wish I had all the, because I had the Zork anthology that Activision put out when I was a teenager, and it had all the maps and it had like all the stuff like all printed out. And you know, I like, just speaking for myself, I love a cool map, and I love like a fantasy map. Like that's always a
Yes.
lot of fun to look at. And so, like that's especially for those Infocom games, they're increasing awareness that they were competing with graphics which were uh quickly accelerating to make a pretty strong argument for themselves. Meant that they were definitely thinking about like how could they absorb you into a game in a stronger and stronger way, and having these uh physical manifestations uh were like, kind of transform you. So it's like, listen, I'm not going to tell you to open that up, but I am telling you that the Zork maps are really cool, and
Oh, I could use
you
the Zork
might
map.
have that right next to you. You
Yeah.
might. I don't know. I don't know if
I mean,
this
I do love that. I mean, I have one of the games that I picked up a copy of. I think it's my only Infocom game of the older crop of them. I have Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it comes with everything from your microscopic space fleet to the demolition orders for your home
Mhm.
to the peril sensitive sunglasses. And yeah, those feelies are pretty amazing. And it's something that, for me is a big part of that appeal. I mean, I can get all these games on GOG and on Steam. I could, if I were that sort of person, I could pirate these games pretty easily as well. And even if they're digital versions of some of those feelies included with certain packagings of them today, there's nothing like getting to hold that stuff in your hand. There's nothing like having that physical manual. We've talked before. Both of us saved our
Ray
Freddie
Farkas.
Farkas, guide to modern medicine and hygiene, or whatever that manual was called. That we both loved. I held on to the Grail Diary from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade for years and years after I'd long let go of the box and didn't have all that sort of stuff anymore. That to me, there's an appeal to that. And part of it is, I think reclaiming little bits of childhood. I mean, this for most of these games on my shelf, it's the second time that I've bought them. I bought them when they were new at Radio Shack, and
Mhm.
then I bought them later on eBay, sometimes for less than I paid at Radio Shack, sometimes for much, much more.
I'm looking at
Um,
on eBay at Lost Treasures of Infocom, and it does look like it has the maps in there.
oh,
I
man.
might buy one of these so I can just get all the maps in one go. But the thing is that I don't think it has all of the feelies.
I don't think I think it has the easy to reprint.
It has the
feelies.
easiest to like just all print out. Like it's like
Yeah.
there you get a bunch of other trinkets and stuff with the other ones, but those maps are still pretty fucking cool. So anyway, sorry. I'll stop looking at it, but I'm kind of like,
no.
maybe I want that.
Yeah. I mean, what would be like if you could own any little piece of adventure gaming history? Like
Mm.
if there were a game that you could just snap your fingers and be on your shelf, what would be your white whale?
What would I want? I mean, the like the original Infocoms, like which like I've said on here before, Wishbringer would be one that I would like for sentimental reasons. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
sentimental reasons are the only reasons that you'd have any of this, right?
That's right. It's remarkably little value to any of these beyond sentimental reasons. The
Um,
sentimental value's through the roof. You remember that episode of The Simpsons when Fat Tony said that about the violin?
no, actually, I don't.
Wow.
Um, but I'm trying to like, what was really cool. I think about this all the time, and let me reopen. Um, is I remember the original PC Red Baron game, like the Dynamics game,
Oh man.
had a ton of like, I keep saying this, maps. Like it had maps of like the it had maps like World War One maps of like the various fronts. And then it had like this pretty thick manual with like a lot of like just World War Two, or I keep saying two, World War One information. Like just a lot of like, just a lot of interesting stuff that I put in. At least that's from my recollection. I am looking here on eBay, and that manual does still look pretty chunky. So perhaps.
Yeah, I wish I'd known this, Ben, because I saw a copy of this like a year ago at Half Price Books for a very reasonable price. And I picked it up and I said to myself, Red Baron was never my game. I'm going to put this back and someone else will find it and it will make them incredibly happy.
Well,
So
I didn't
instead, I
find
bought
it.
a copy of Police Quest 4, which nobody would ever want.
No. Now, does that make you happy instead?
It makes me happy that no one else will buy it, thinking like what I worried about was like, what if someone like would walk into that Half Price Books and be really jazzed to see Police Quest 4 and buy it out of joy rather than me buying it out of a sense of obligation of like, it's a cheap Sierra adventure despite everything. I'll just claim it. I'll claim it as my own.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, my cat has picked up a new affectation of he's cleared off all the stuff in a corner of the desk, and that's become his. But now he's, especially with all this war talk, he's like slowly trying to expand.
Yes,
his
trying to move his trench a few meters forward.
Yeah, it's a game of inches. He's like just slowly pushing other stuff off the desk and then moving over to the other side of my desk and then laying down on the opposite side and trying to push things like further. Oh, you little stinker. I should brush his teeth. That would teach him a lesson.
That would.
But I also should brush his teeth.
When I've been bad, that's how I'm disciplined as well.
It's just a way. Like I'm like if he's sitting here like right in front of me, I'm like I have the thought because he's a cat with poor teeth, so I have to brush his teeth, and so it's like when I get these opportunities where he's just like kind of splayed out in front of me, I'm just like, all right, buddy, you know what that means.
Here it comes.
Fucking wash your teeth. And you know what? At this point, he holds on because he knows that a treat's coming right after. Unfortunately, I've successfully trained him to not reject having his teeth brushed.
That's how they got me too. Just like I'd brush my teeth and my mom would just give me a piece of bologna. She's like, good boy, Jess. And that's all it took.
Anyway. You know what? His breath does not. I used to be able to smell his bad breath, like from my height. Like he would look up at me and I would smell as bad. Like that's how bad it was. And that is not the case anymore. Thank God.
Sometimes my cat blood clone will get up in my face and start to like sniff my breath. And I'm like, who are you to judge?
Asshole.
Have you smelled your breath? Come on.
Yeah, I saw you licking the floor the other day.
I saw you licking your butt the other day. Come on. You're going to judge me because I had Chipotle?
I think it's more of a judge if it's like Chipotle again. Come on. You've got that. You got that great other Mexican place.
Yeah, Bad Happy Burrito.
Yeah,
Shout out to Bad
Thank
Happy
you.
Burrito.
Anyway, all right. But collecting. I mean, Red Baron would be neat to have.
That's acquirable. Like that's not a bad one.
No. I'm looking, and it's Red Baron is an extremely acquirable.
I think
game.
Sierra made a ton of these. Now, I will say, if you start to like really watch these auctions for old adventure games closely, you can start to realize there's some Sierra titles that clearly Sierra far overproduced. They're, they're just
What would you say?
okay. Let's see here. You're going to see. I mean, Red Baron is a great example. You're going to see a million of those floating around for next to nothing. Meanwhile, like a game like Conquest of the Longbow, I think is a much smaller print run. That's another one that I don't have in my collection. Conquest of the Longbow, Ben, that is one that I've been too cheap to pay for up to this point. It is apparently a rarity, especially if you want that 9 men's Morris board, which I do.
Yeah.
How am I
You
going to
can
play
play it
9
with your
men's Morris?
family.
Maybe one of them can explain it to me. Could you please like read this Wikipedia entry on 9 men's Morris and teach me how to play it?
What I was watching recently. You watch the YouTuber LGR?
Yeah.
I just started. I just watched the first episode of his thrifting series that he does, and that's a thing. I don't think I really, because the problem is like, so if you watch his thrifting series, and I think the first one came out like 11 years ago, and now like I think there's so many videos of people thrifting that people are aware now. It's
Yes.
they're a little picked over, but it is like, so you live in an area where there might not be as many thrift stores. The problem living in a big city is that the thrift stores are all like, you have to be fast.
Yeah.
Good stuff goes right away. And so like, that's the big challenge with like, you have to find like kind of your own little secrets.
Yes.
Like, I found a good used bookstore that has like an incredible collection and extremely good prices, and like I hesitated to tell my friend, like I was like, I want this
Ben, did I
place to
tell you
remain
about-
open, but I don't want anyone to know that
Did I tell you about my recent thrift store find?
Yeah, what did you get at a thrift store?
Oh man, Ben, I went to a thrift store here in town, Goodwill. Maybe you've heard of it.
I think I might have.
I was at Goodwill, and I found, I don't know why I was looking through their VHS section, but I found VHS copies from the mid 80s. They're the first VHS releases of the original Star Wars trilogy. All 3 in their boxes, like near mint condition, still had plastic wrap on them. $1.99 each. It was an amazing find. I loved it.
Oh, so you got it.
Oh, I bought it, Ben. I'm buying it.
So here's the thing. I think you could find a lot of those. I think I've seen those around.
No.
Okay.
No, I think you probably get to. I mean, here's the thing. Probably at that point in history, there's a good chance it was one of the most mass-produced VHSs that had ever been made, right? Like the first time that Star Wars: A New Hope was available on VHS, probably they produced a few of those, right? Like that, they didn't. It's not like that was a limited run, I suspect. So, but I was pretty happy with it because that's the thrill. I mean, it's just like, oh man, this is something. I mean, I rented this version of Star Wars as a kid from my local video store, and brought it home and watched it. It's kind of fun to reclaim little bits like that. And yeah, with game collecting, that's kind of what I'm chasing, is that thrill of.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is being able to hold in your hand or to see on your shelf like a tangible piece of something that has meant a lot to you.
Right.
And like, and it could be just something that's like a little joke to yourself. Like, now I own Pac-Man 2, the new adventures
Yeah.
for the Sega Genesis. Um, but it could, like, it is nice to look and to have that, like, to have that. And there's something kind of magical about that. And so you found Return to Zork at a
Mm-hmm.
thrift store. You found Lost Treasures of Infocom 1 and 2
Yes.
at a
1 and
thrift
2.
store.
Yep. I found X-Wing and TIE
That's
Fighter.
that seems like a that seems like something. Is
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. I mean, both of those are cheap. They're games
Oh,
that they
really?
must have produced a zillion of.
Sure.
Yeah, you can acquire those like sub $20 on eBay, I think. They are more available than I would have guessed when I picked them up. But again, it's probably something I wouldn't have bought just because I could go on eBay and buy it for $20. But to stumble across it in a store and be like, oh man, it's X-Wing TIE Fighter. I loved these games. I poured so many hours into these games. And they've got the manuals and they've got the shiny holofoil covers on them. And they're LucasArts games. And I mean, that's part of it too, especially with big box PC games, the aesthetics, just the beautiful cover art and in the case of the um Sierra games, the slip cases, and some of them have nice gatefold covers on them, and like they, in my mind, look nice sitting on a shelf over here. Trying to think of what else. Star Trek Judgment Rights found in a local
Oh, that's cool.
found in a local store. What else here on my shelf has actually been an in-person pickup? I have a Frankenstein copy of Gabriel Not One. That is, I found a disc. Well, I bought an empty box at one point for it on on eBay. So I had an empty Gabriel Knight box, not the cool, funky, weird shaped triangular box thingy. It was just the regular Sierra box version. And then found a jewel case copy of the game at a thrift shop to put in the box. And also got a copy of the Sins of the Fathers novel separately from that at a used bookstore that I also put into that box. So I've kind of made my own Frankenstein copy of Gabriel Not One.
Well, and also I think I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the fun discoveries that you've made in
Oh
collecting,
man.
like in your Manhunter box.
Well, my Manhunter box, well, I got my copy of Manhunter New York. I didn't know this. I opened it up, and inside was not just all the stuff that you'd expect to find in a copy of Manhunter, but it also had some random Police Quest discs and some Police Quest manuals and maps and things. So that was a fun surprise. My favorite surprise, I mean, this is something that I thought I'd ask you, like when you think about collecting games, which again, I want to get you into so I don't feel so bad about myself. Um, is the appeal like a sealed mint condition? Is it one that, I mean, I don't think for either of us it'd be something we want to be playable. Like we don't want discs we can pop out and actually load
It'd
in
be
and
nice
play.
to have the discs, but I don't have
It
to
would
have
be.
them.
I mean, I have the discs and I want to have the discs, but I'm never going to play them. I just
No.
like that they're in there.
No. And they probably don't work.
Yeah. Or is it well loved? Like, do you want a copy where someone has like written down notes in the manual?
Oh, I do like
I want
notes
that
in
too.
the manual.
I want that too.
Oh,
I want copies
I
where I
love
can see
notes in the manual. If you could find in the back of a manual on the notes page someone like writing down like little stuff.
Yes.
That's cool.
I love that too. For me, that is like the ultimate value add. I've bought a few games. I'm trying to remember. I got something where someone had some hand-drawn maps that they had included in it on graph paper. And it was just like, oh, I love this. My favorite, my copy of Space Quest 5, when I got it home, when I got shipped to me and I opened it up, I like saw this folded up set of stapled papers. And when I unfolded it, like there was a Space Quest 5 logo at the top that looked really familiar. It wasn't the official logo. I was like, where in the world have I seen this
Oh
before?
yeah, I like
And
this.
it was a printout of the Space Quest 5 walkthrough that I wrote for my website, Roger Wilco's Virtual Broom Closet. Someone
Whoa!
had printed this out, stapled it years and years and years ago, put it into their Space Quest 5 box, and then I purchased it on eBay, probably decades later. And I'm now looking at a printed copy of a walkthrough that I wrote myself in a copy of Space Quest 5 that I purchased online.
That's so crazy.
It was crazy. I mean, it was again. I couldn't even process it at first. Like
That is so
where have I
crazy.
seen this before? Where have I seen this before? It was my own website, and it's like that's amazing.
That
That
is like I think it's also, sometimes unless the internet decides to immediately respond and let you know exactly how you feel or how they feel, which is hellish. Um Sometimes it feels like if you're doing a website or if you're doing like some sort of project or something like that, like it feels like you're just sending out messages in a bottle that
yeah,
kind of go nowhere. Um and like it must have just been so bizarre to see this, like, actual, like, it's like I have actually, like, I am opening a box which, unknown to me, I am actually part of what's in this box.
yes.
That's
It
crazy.
was amazing. I mean, that is literally the best copy of Space Quest 5 in the world. Like, it's a little dinged up, but there isn't a copy of Space Quest 5 that I would rather have than the one that someone stuck a copy of a walkthrough I wrote into the box, God knows how many years ago, and had no idea that eventually this would end up in the hands of the person who wrote that walkthrough.
Yeah, and, like, you're flipping through it and you're going like, "Oh, there's that typo."
God,
Oh,
I can't read
like
that sort of stuff.
give a bad review on eBay. Included walkthrough has typos. Also, I met that guy. He's a dick.
I hope someone got fired for that blunder. And I mean,
Jess, I don't know if I've heard that story.
I
I'm
can't
not
believe that. I
sure.
was sure I'd told you that. It is.
I think you might have told me that, but I
Yeah.
don't know if I got as
Yeah.
rich a telling of it.
Yeah, I mean, and I tell a lot of stories. So you probably tuned it out if I did. But no, that's incredible. And I almost had in my hands very recently quite a score as well. Ben, can I talk about my recent
Yeah.
heartbreaking
We'll wrap with
experience?
that. Let's say.
Okay. So I was messing around on eBay as I'm wont to do
Mm-hmm.
and just searching around, and I came across this lot of games. Uh, Included in this lot of games, let me run through what all we have. The star of the show, I think what I came across in the search was King's Quest 3, which, as I mentioned earlier, missing from my collection.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Also,
So I'm familiar with this story, but it sounds to me like I don't have the whole story if you're talking about it in this way. So go ahead.
okay, also in this lot of games, Sierra's Winnie the Pooh and the 100 Acre Woods and Mickey's Space Adventure. They're two
Great.
collaborations with Disney.
Yeah.
Also exciting. Two Lucasfilm games, Chronos Rift and Rescue on Fractalis.
Okay. That one I know.
Yeah,
Rescue. I always thought it was Fractalus,
it probably is.
but
I don't
whatever.
think it
Anyway.
has voice. It's hard to say. The Microscopic Mission, which is a like laser surgeon simulator from the mid 80s, and a copy of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, the version I had as a kid with the full world almanac, just the whole thing, all of these in box, all of them in manuals. There are a bunch of other things thrown into. Basically, what it looks like, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
These are all Tandy editions. And they are basically what the shelf of my local Radio Shack looked like circa 1986, 1987. These are basically all the games that I would just stare at longingly on the shelves and wish I could have all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a lot. And I gave the seller a kind of lowball offer, and they accepted. So suddenly I'd purchased this giant box of amazing, beloved childhood games. And then it arrived after like a very long shipping process. And I opened it up a couple of days ago, Ben. And
Yeah.
inside of this box
I know.
were a bunch of computer manuals. Not even game manuals. We're talking like manuals for the Tandy color computer, the Coco. And no games, no nothing. All that sort of stuff that I had been so excited to see was now replaced with like a guide on how to use your Tandy dot matrix printer
Yeah.
and other things like that. And I was heartbroken. It turns out I've since been in touch with the seller, and this was a packing / shipping mistake. And we are in the process of making it right.
Oh.
So I think there's going to be a happy ending to this story, I think.
Oh.
But oh my gosh, it was, again, I realize you can't buy back your childhood, but that was like a very large chunk of my childhood all in one place.
Oh man.
And I really wanted to buy it back.
Yeah. I get it. I get it.
And then I got a bunch of dumb computer manuals.
Do you have to mail those back?
I did. I had to mail, but I didn't have to pay shipping. They generated a shipping label for me. But I had to go to the post office. Oh.
I'm just kind of like, ugh, that's so frustrating. Like,
yeah, part of me is like, is it worth it to me at this point?
Yeah. But I think those stories are a good place to leave it. You know, collecting. It's fun, and maybe I'll start doing it. But like, I just got another record today, Jess.
Yeah. One time, Ben, I collected like several thousand video game soda machines in a virtual collection. And, I think you could afford a few more records. It'll be fine.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us for Quest the Adventure Game Podcast. If you, we'll throw this to you. If you have any thoughts as to what the Blue Album of video games is, let us know. questpodcast at gmail.com. Or if there is a canonical hidden object game that we should check out that you think perhaps like has some adventure game crossover. I kind of think of do those share DNA with like the Amarinta, or Rita, I forget how to pronounce it, the people that did Machinarium.
Yeah.
Like, does that have like a little DNA in there?
I honestly don't know. We need to learn more. Ben and I need
we gotta
help.
learn more. So where to start? Let us know.
And also, please, if you collect video games, I would love to hear like what's your favorite thing in your collection and why do you love it? Or if there's one item that you would just love to have, you could just
what's
have
your white
one
whale
game on your shelf. What would it be? I would love to hear from our listeners on that topic.
Quest podcast at gmail.com. 5 stars, rate and review, etc. And be sure to join us next week, in which we discuss the adventure game. And I'm sorry, it is another Sierra adventure game. We should talk about.
We should branch out.
Yeah.
We should branch out.
But it's Space Quest 4. Okay, so Jess. So we discussed like there's the Space Quest 4 hint book, which implies that there's another Space Quest 4 that we don't see, right?
Right.
Is this like a Leisure Suit Larry 4 type situation that kind of leads Roger into being interested in being like, going into StarCon and on the track to become a captain? Like, is that what the Lost Space Quest 4 is?
I think the Lost Space Quest 4 is probably like Leisure Suit Larry 4, just way too sexual to release.